When I entered the room, I saw two lawyers of Police Colonel Garma standing inside the room. One of the lawyers approached me and then asked me what we are going to talk about. I said, I do not know. After a while, Kong Dan Fernandez entered the room and he asked me to sit beside him on his right side. And then Kong Abante entered the room, sat far end of the chair on the right. One of the lawyers of Police Karma stood near at my back. Kong Dan Fernandez put the paper he was holding on the table and told me, ito ang sasabihin mong statement na ito. While pointing on the paragraph on the paper, ito ang supplemental affidavit ni Colonel Garma. Sabihin mo, alam mo ang reward system.
To sign an affidavit in exchange for a promotion. Let me be clear, no? This accusation is absolutely false. I vehemently deny any of this. I have been in public service for over 3 decades. My track record speaks for itself. I've stood for what is right, what is truthful, since I was first elected into public office in 1992. This allegation distracts us from the real and more pressing issue. Former President Rodrigo Duterte himself took responsibility for the shortcomings of his administration's war on drugs. Shortcomings that led to the death of thousands of innocent men, women, and children. In speaking directly about the extrajudicial killings perpetrated during the war on drugs, President Duterte admitted under oath that he alone takes full legal responsibility for the actions of his subordinates who were acting under his orders. In other words, the former president has acknowledged his role in the thousands of deaths that took place under his watch. He also echoed the nanlaban narrative that was persistently used by police officers to justify deaths during supposed police operations. This admission is significant as it highlights that cases are now ripe for filing against those responsible for the extrajudicial killings during the drug war. Duterte has committed to take responsibility and face the consequences of these acts as mandated by our laws. It is now up to the proper authorities to consider this statement carefully and ascertain the criminal liability of the responsible individuals, whether under the concept of command responsibility or conspiracy. These cases could include crimes against humanity, as penalized under Republic Act No. 9851, the Philippine Act on Crimes Against International Humanitarian Law, genocide, and other crimes against humanity. That's the title of the Republic Act. And other criminal laws, not to mention the potential jurisdiction of the ICC. Section 10 of RA 9851 establishes the principle of command responsibility, which holds superiors liable for crimes committed by their subordinates if they had knowledge of the crimes and failed to take necessary actions to prevent or repress them. The killings order under former President Duterte's so-called war on drugs meet all the elements of willful killing as a crime against humanity under Section 6 of RA 9851. The facts are clear. Medyo mahaba ito, First, willful killings affected thousands of civilians, with the International Criminal Court estimating between 12,000 and 30,000 deaths between July 2016 and March 2019 alone. Second, the victims were primarily civilians, suspected by police authorities to be involved in drug-related activities. Third, these killings occurred in a widespread, systematic attack across various cities municipalities, and provinces throughout the Philippines. Fourth, these killings were executed under a state or organizational policy, namely the anti-drug campaign of former President Duterte, which included a national system of rewards within the police hierarchy. Duterte's admission in the Senate hearing, made spontaneously and as an admission against interest, is binding upon him. This must be recognized as evidence for all present and future cases relating to the war on drugs. What we witnessed during the former president's testimony was a shocking normalization of brutality, a normalization of death, and a disregard for due process that has infected our legal institutions. Duterte's nonchalant attitude towards life itself lies at the root of the thousands of deaths during his term. His casual language, his swearing in formal proceedings, mirrors the erosion of his standards in his administration, where the value of life itself was cast aside. Nakakalungkot na hindi nare-realize ni PRRD ang consequences ng mga sinasabi niya. Carelessly worded statements posted on Facebook by a normal citizen are called rants. Carelessly worded statements spoken by a president are called policy. And his coarse language, his casual swearing even in formal settings, which we saw again and again yesterday in the Senate, mirrors this erosion of his standards. What we witnessed during his time in office was not just a disregard for societal norms and the standards of the office he once held. It was a disregard for human life. It was a dismissal of the processes and safeguards designed to protect the life and liberty of our kababayan. Kita ninyo, naging katanggap-tanggap ang pagmumura, ang pagpatay, naging katanggap-tanggap, pinapalakpakan siya. Are these the values we want to pass on to our children? The recent Senate hearing also laid bare another troubling truth. It is nearly impossible to hold a fair and objective inquiry when those who should be testifying are instead influencing the very proceedings. When resource persons are faced with figures like Senator Bato de la Rosa, there is no level playing field. The environment is one of intimidation, designed to silence or steer the narrative. Any witness who dares to speak out is at risk of being bullied or dismissed. Oo, may right si Senator Bato and even Senator Go to defend themselves. That is their right. A right denied to the thousands who could not defend themselves. Senator Bato, ay kung talagang sila ay matatapang, kung naniniwala kayo na wala kayong kasalanan, then show some real delicadeza and appear to our hearings where your statements can be challenged and cross-examined. Mga kababayan, yesterday we also saw how the former president was given a platform to rewrite history, to gaslight the nation by justifying acts that led to the thousands of deaths. This was not a hearing in the service of truth. It was a forum for denial, for him to rationalize the indefensible. Psalms 9:9-10 reminds us, and I quote, "The Lord also will be a refuge for the oppressed, a refuge in times of trouble. And they that know thy name will put their trust in thee, for thou, Lord, hast not forsaken them that seek thee." End of quote. The voices of the oppressed cry out for justice. And we stand here knowing that the Lord is on the side of those who seek righteousness and truth. We will not be swayed by these tactics, nor will we be deterred from seeking accountability. We are committed to ensuring that the victims of the war on drugs receive justice. The former president may attempt to dodge responsibility, but we will work tirelessly to hold him accountable for the lives lost, the families shattered, and the trust broken under his administration. Maraming salamat po.
Thank you, Chairman Abante and Fernandez. Kicking off today's first question, we'd like to recognize Merales Moras from PTV4.
Hi, good morning po, Chair Abante, Chair Fernandez. Sir, I understand may mga statement na rin po tayo kahapon denying the statements of Grijaldo. Pero just to be clear, para mas maipaliwanag lang po sa ating mga kababayan, so may nangyari nga po bang private meeting about dun sa statement nga with Grijaldo? And ano po kaya yung reason, kung meron man, na bakit siya kailangang ipatawag in private, si Grijaldo po?
Dahil mahaba yung sinabi mo, ako nang sasagot, Chairman Abante. Unang-una talagang there was a incident na talagang pinatawag namin siya, pero not on our own volition, because it was Colonel Garma, as what I'm saying sa mga interview sa akin, that asked na kausapin si Colonel Grijaldo. Kasi si Colonel Grijaldo, according to Colonel Garma, is a friend of her. So, sabi namin, tama-tama, andun si Colonel Grijaldo, so tawagin na natin. So, it was at the back of the Quadcom. So, nang kinausap namin siya, sabi ko nga kay Chairman Abante, kausapin natin, kasi nga, kaibigan daw, siya makakapag-confirm ng mga affidavit na ginawa niya doon sa supplemental. So, what we did was, yung lawyer, sinabi namin na pumunta, para in the spirit of transparency, kasi mahirap naman na kami lang. Kasi we always see to it na dapat talagang merong kasama. As a matter of fact, yun din ang sinabi ko sa media that prior to the Quadcom hearing, nagkausap kami ni Colonel Garma. And I asked the permission of the chairman to be with me. And he accompanied me para at least transparent talaga yung usapan. Unfortunately, yung sinasabi niyang coercion and harassment, it never happened. Talagang wala namang coercion na nangyari. And ako, natatandaan ko kasi merong isang tao na naandun sa loob pa eh. Aside from the two witnesses na at the two lawyers ni Garma, si chairman, saka ako, and then somebody, kilala ko sa mukha, hindi ko lang matandaan kung sino na staff yon. So, we were discussing yung I think it was number 17 na sinabi ko, ito, sabi ni Garma, makukonfirm mo daw yung sa reward system. Naku, wala po kaming alam dyan. Wala po akong alam dyan. So, pinoint ko pa yung iba, yung 1999. Tama yung sinasabi niya. Pero yung kinuers namin siya at hinaras namin siya, kasi ang coercion talagang gagamitan mo ng threat eh. Gagamitan mo siya ng force eh. Kung ginamitan natin siya ng force during that time, di ba, there was still a lot of time for him to react eh, no? Unfortunately hindi niya yung ginawa. At the same time, we cannot do that. Alam mo, it's so unethical for the two of us not telling yung sa mga chairman like si Ace, si Chairman Acop, saka si Congressman Paduano about do sa isyong yon, kung pipilitin namin siyang magsalita, and it will be against sa ating procedure na to bet first yung mga magsasalita para at least sigurado tayo. So yun yung tunay na nangyari. But of course, mayroon din ako sinasabi na issue na yung reason kung bakit niya ginawa yon. Well, yun yung aking analysis dun sa pangyayari. Bakit nila ginagawa to against us? Well, unang-una, demolition yun. Pangalawa, it's an attack against me and against you, and most likely they really wanted to discredit the whole of the Quadcom. And it's quite unfair, no, to all of the members of the Quadcom, especially the chairman. What happened nang invite namin with our own volition na to talk to Colonel Grijaldo, because it was asked by Colonel Garma. And sa amin, yun ang nakita kong naging repercussion ng ginawa namin. But of course, in every betting that we are doing, we always see to it that there are people around.
Opo, sorry, follow up lang sir dun sa sinabi ngo yung nakikita nyo itong ay demolition. Ano rin po yung masasabi nyo na paulit-ulit sinabi ni former President Duterte na subornation of perjury at sabi nga niya maghahain pa siya ng kaso against about this against you po, sir. Ano pong masasabi niyo ron at bakit po ba nung meeting wala ring abogado mismo, kasi ang nasabi niyo po ang may abogado si Garma, but po walang abogado si Grijaldo?
Kasi betting process pa lamang yun eh. Alam mo, sa Kongreso, kinakausap muna namin, and then kapag nalaman namin na pwede nating i-validate yung mga sinasabi niya, then the lawyers will come out. So, that time, wala namang lawyer na dala si Grijaldo during that time eh. Ang may lawyer doon is si Garma. And that's the reason why we asked na kung pwede yung dalawang lawyer pumunta doon para at least transparent yung usapan. Now, kung nagsabi siya na, yes sir, kinokontrol ko po yan, alam ko po yung reward system, and then, bring your lawyer. Yun ang namin, yun ang sistema ng procedure namin sa betting eh. Kasi otherwise, kung una pala may coerce na namin siya. Alam namin, babalikan kami niyan. We're not like that. And you have to remember that we have a lot of evidences already. As a matter of fact, yung ating pong sinasabi natin na corroborative, na-corroborate na eh. Actually, hindi naman kay Colonel Garma nagsimula yan eh. Doon sa dalawang PDL na kinaraborate ni Jimmy Portalesa, kinaraborate ni Warden Padilla. Saka lamang dumating si Colonel Garma, saka lang dumating si Commissioner Leonardo. So now, sinasabi ni Garma na ito, meron pang isang kaibigan ako na magko-corroborate doon sa mga sinabi ko. Well, actually, kahit wala siya, hindi nga siya pinag-uusapan namin, kaya nagulat ako nang nandun lang siya, nagsasalita siya against us. Well, script nila yun eh. Bahala sila doon. Well, panindigan niya kung ano magiging repercussion sa kanya dahil nga, we will not take that sitting down. Of course, yung kanyang affidavit na kinores, hinaras, and under oath siya, mabigat yun. And we will do something. And this will be collective. I mean, not me, not him, but the whole of the Quadcom. Because the integrity of the Quadcom is at stake here. And we have done nothing wrong.
Sir, sorry, yung sa statement lang po ni former President Duterte about subornation of perjury, ano pong masasabi nyo doon na he even said na magpa-file siya ng case about this?
Well, ako, carry on. We will take action on that. Kung magpa-file sila sa amin, then yun ang mga repercussion of the things that we are doing for the Quadcom and for the Filipino people. And if this is the way that we need to act on certain things that happen, then we will confront the issue.